Conversations in Public Relations. I'm your host, Mary Fletcher Jones. You know, with all the associations and government agencies in this town, you can be sure event and meeting planning is big business. Today, let's talk to Jennifer Collins. Jennifer is president of the Event Planning Group, an award-winning event management company right here in Washington, D.C. Her company has been named by Washington Business Journal as one of the top 25 meeting and event planning companies for 4 years running. Jennifer believes that events are the most powerful form of communications. Let's talk to her now and find out why. Jennifer, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in event management?
My career started in the public relations world, specifically in PR firms. I worked within PR firms. I produced some meetings and conferences for the firms, as well as product launches, and of course press conferences, and decided that I really enjoyed doing that aspect of public relations. So from that, I decided to go off and start the event planning group. Started out initially doing social events, so your weddings and those sorts of anniversary functions. Decided that we didn't like necessarily to continue with those particular aspects of producing events, so we moved and shifted to the actual business side of producing the conferences and events.
At what point should an organization call in an expert meeting planner? What does the event planning group do for clients?
When an organization is assessing whether or not to produce a meeting or an event, that's really the main crux of when they should think about calling in a professional. Oftentimes organizations don't necessarily have the expertise, for one. They also may not have the human resources in order to produce events because they can be quite intensive in the sense of the logistical capabilities and the time commitment to produce them. So they really need to assess and determine whether or not they have the staffing capability to produce this event, and whether they really are able to take away from their core capabilities and their resources in-house. Really, we help these organizations focus on their core discipline. So we are coming in as the, for one, strategy behind how to produce this event to communicate their message. But number two, we also are able to bring in that logistical capability. We are the extra sets of hands that are able to really tap into the supplier networks, as well as really just bring our expertise and our knowledge and our understanding as to how this particular event should be put together so that it can best communicate their particular message.
You say that event planning is the most powerful form of communications. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. When we are doing events, events are so special in their power because of the fact of they are the only part of the marketing matrix that can bring you face to face with your customer. So when you think about media relations, you are disseminating messages through the media. You think about advertising, you are producing ads, whether they're television-based ads or print ads. And let's take social media, since that's now very popular today. Even social media is not able to do what events can do. Events are the only form of the marketing particular matrix that can really bring you face to face with the customer. So that's what yields to their power, because the customer is coming close to you. They're coming to hear from you, to hear your message. They're coming to interact with your message and experience your message. So how is it that that cannot yield power? Because of the fact of once they start to really engage in the actual message that you're trying to disseminate, they're more so going to be able to remember it, for one, and potentially use it going forward because of the fact that they have the ability to really experience it and interact with it overall.
Jennifer, I'd be curious to hear you tell us about a memorable event that you've been associated with, and what made that event special for you.
Well, the events that we've worked on that have been so very special, for instance, there's an event that we produced on behalf of a company who was celebrating their 30th anniversary. And it was being held at the Strathmore Music Center in, I want to say North Bethesda, but it's on the border of Bethesda in Rockville, Maryland. And what made that so special is, for one, when you're communicating a message, they really wanted to be able to show this event as a way to honor the founders of the company, but also celebrate the people over the 30 years that the company has been in existence as well. And so they really wanted to tie in the founders and what was special to them. There was an Asian feel to the event, and we were able to incorporate that into the decor of the event. And it was just a way to really bring in their personality, their character, And we also produced the event in a way where people were able to just come up to the stage one by one, and it wasn't scripted at all, but they were able to share their overall thoughts and experiences as having been those that worked for the company. Maybe they worked for the company in the early days, or maybe they currently worked for the company. They were really able to share their experiences. And that was special in the sense of that's what an event is about. It's about that memorable occasion. It's about how you were able to be a part of it and how it touched you. Another event that I'm thinking about as well that was really special was a symposium that we developed on behalf of a university based in California, as well as a large corporation. It was a symposium on cocoa. And it started out as a one-time event, and it ended up being biannual because of the fact of the success of it from the first year. And why I say that's important and special is because this event was supposed to help the university become more of a leader in its field. They wanted to be known for the science that they were producing around cocoa. And so we built this event as a way to showcase the science, and had a lot of different organizations as well as presenters that were able to talk about different aspects of cocoa science. And from that event, it became in demand, the actual content. And so it was able really to communicate not only the message, but it also was able to elevate the university as well as the main corporation that sponsored it as leaders in the industry. So that's what I talk, that's really where I'm going when I say that events are the most powerful form of communications, because of the fact of they are able to not only cause for celebration, but they help organizations to become industry leaders. They can amplify their achievements, build name recognition, and really push the organization forward in becoming a leader in what they do. So can truly, truly be a powerful marketing concept. And it's something where communicators really need to look carefully at how they build the event so that it can truly speak to the message and increase the recognition of the organizations that they're working on behalf of.
Jennifer, now I feel I really understand how a well-organized event or meeting can be one of the most exciting ways that an organization can communicate its brand. Thanks for sharing your expertise with us today.
Oh, Mary, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I've watched all of your interviews, and I just want to congratulate you on a great series that you're producing as well.